Peter, one of the competitive advantages, you talked about 3 competitive advantages that you have in finding deals, but there was one that you missed and I'm interested in a little bit. Not missed for any other reason than we're talking a lot, but one that does strike me as being very important. That is speed of execution. You did mention, I can't remember if while we were talking now or before we started chatting, if you've got 120 days to close, it ain't a distressed deal. So talk to me about speed of execution. A deal lands on your desk. You've got a short window to underwrite and close on that thing in order to be able to demonstrate intent before anyone believes that you're going to close. How do you do your underwriting?
Excellent. So first thing you do is typically on a distressed deal, you want to look at this with an existing sponsor, somebody you've worked with. So you have existing sponsorship, underwriting, legal, research, and debt. So we'll start with the underwriting. First thing you do is you take your sponsor's model. You look at it and you say, assuming that everything was true, would I do this deal? And you talk with the sponsor, assuming everything they say is true. And if you have enough expertise in this business, you will know, give or take, if what he says is true. And you can be forceful and say, listen, I'm going to assume what you say is true. I'll be upset if it's not. The next step is you underwrite it with your own internal models. You sensitize it to a worst case scenario and say, assuming that our worst case scenario is true and cap rates go up 200 basis points, we can't achieve the rent. Would we do this deal? Number 3, you check the local market. It is very risky to be a market maker. You want to ensure that the assumptions in your model are at current market rents. A lot of people get in trouble and say, well, the market's going to go up. Don't bet on it. You can count on it and you're dead. Best thing you could do is say, listen, this would be an upside case, and you don't tell your investors the upside case. You tell your investors the worst case scenario from day one. Transparency from day one, alerting bad news. That's a different subject.
Yes.
Next is the legal team. So we would have an all hands on deck call. And instead of being the new sponsor that says, hi, I'm Peter Auerbach, I want to buy a deal. What does your firm do? Those are guys that don't get the stress deals. What we do is we say, hey, Janice Schiff at Holland & Knight, who handles all of our legal, I'll give her a little plug. Janice, we got something in Atlanta. Let's get Darian and Meg on the phone. I want to run through this with you. Who do we know down there? What are we going to get going? I remember the last deal we did, we spoke to X, Y, and Z. Next thing you do is you call your construction managers that have done deals with you on the phone. Say, I want to know about this asset. Run a scope right away. Let's make sure we have no leaks, no plumes. I want to know the structural because they're not giving us anything. So those are the nuances. You are ready to go on day one. Then what you'll want to do is you'll want to talk to the brokerage community right there, and it's a two-way street. If you are honorable to people throughout your career, they will put in a good word for you with that seller. Remember, the seller needs that money. They want to know you're a sure thing. So it'll be a two-way street. Mr. Broker, tell me about the history of the deal. Mr. Broker, please let them know we're looking at them. Let them know who we are. Now, if you've never closed a deal before and you don't have a track record around the country, you're not buying it. So that is a very, very fast-talking, rudimentary way that we do business.